Hello there, this is DBT, and this are the rooms. And alright, let's continue playing some more Asphalt. And today, you're jumping with me into my Masanti, because we're going sightseeing with DBT. That's right, we're doing another episode of Sightseeing with DBT, where instead of focusing on the races, or the car, or performance, or anything, we're gonna focus instead on the map. And the focus for today, it's gonna be Barcelona. Oh yeah, Barcelona, Spain, another one of the original maps, and it holds a place in my heart in this context, and I'll tell you why. But before, we're gonna be driving with the Masanti Evantra, the regular version of the Class S, and I decided to bring this car because A, I don't have it upgraded, which means it's gonna be easy to drive in the sense that it's not gonna be trying to drift crazily or do anything weird. And also because this is a rare car. I don't believe that this car you can acquire anymore because of licensing issues, so I thought, hey, let's use it, why not? And oh man, this is a fantastic looking track. Now, it is an old one, so that means that it's low on polygons and all of that, but still, this map is absolutely gorgeous. So right from the start, again, normally you don't pay too much attention to any of this because you're more concerned about dodging all the enemies and all of that, but have you ever stopped for a second to just look at, on the left side, all that vegetation, all of the trees, this little park? Though there's a peculiar thing that I've noticed, I don't know if this is an emulator issue or does it also happen on the phone, I never paid attention, but do you see how the trees are actually clipping, the sprite of the trees actually clipping into the bushes? The bushes should be on front, and yet the tree shows up like that, so pay attention to how that looks. It's very strange. Have you ever noticed that this happens in your devices? But either way, this is a fantastic spot for selfies because just look at how green it is. It's very, very nice looking. And in fact, in the Friday multiplayer events, we have done sometimes selfies at that spot simply because it's so cool. And if we look over here, we already have one thing that I think is worth mentioning in general, the fact that you can see over here a street going that way. Obviously, you cannot go in there because this contention or retention thingies are probably made of, I don't know, it completely stops your car dead on its track, but imagine if you could go in there. Oh, wouldn't that be interesting? Though it would be a very sharp turn if you meant to go over there. So on the left side, we already seen all of these trees and whatnot, right? But if we pay attention to what's on the other side, well, we got some more buildings. We also got some bikes, which look surprisingly big, but then again, it makes you think as to how little or how small these cars are, or short, I suppose is the word that I should be using. Other than that, I don't know. I guess this is some sort of center. I don't know what that place is, but nothing too interesting to look at that point. However, we go over here, and this is one part. Again, you've been here a million times. But have you ever paid attention to the fact that from this place you can see this structure? I don't know what it is. So if anybody has traveled to Barcelona or lives over there and knows what this place is, I would love to know. That's not an actual structure in the game, that's more sprite. A sprite, in case you don't know, it's a 2D image as opposed to a 3D model like all of these little things over there. But that makes sense because it's on the background, so it doesn't need to be a fully modeled thing. But this is another avenue that maybe could be explored, and in fact, since we're going here on a little bit of a roundabout, it would be nice. Imagine if you were able, in another version of this track, you were coming from the side. Let me orient myself. And instead of going here to the right, you could either go straight forward because there's a street right there, or you turn on this side and then you start exploring that side of the track. Wouldn't that be very, very cool, very interesting? That's one thing that I do hope that Gameloft eventually does in expanding some of these tracks, you know, to give it a bit more life to the rest of the map. But anyway, over here you can see on these bushes what I was saying on how it's clipping wrong. See this bush right here, this one? And see how the bush on the back is actually clipping into it. Clipping meaning that goes through it, at least visually. You see what I'm saying? It's very strange. I don't understand. There seems to be a bit of a problem in the rendering of those things, but oh well, we're not here to look at that. Over here we have another. This looks like a fancy museum of sort to my left, but I actually think that it's instead a hotel. Because if you look at it from here, then you can see a ton of what looks to be rooms. And yeah, I mean, it's right there on the beach. So it would make sense that this is more of a hotel, since, well, you want to have that nice view to the sea. At the sea? Oh, come on, dude, Jesus! Even the AI wants to knock me down, huh? If we look on the left side, and I know that I'm taking forever on this section, but it's just so many things to look at. we got again all of these fancy buildings and whatnot. I mean, not that you can do anything on them, or even if the maps were expanded, not that you would do anything in there. I just like looking at all of these places because, again, when have you stopped here to take a selfie, for example? I don't think that there's a lot of focus or emphasis put into that. And man, if only we had some sort of camera mode in this game so that we could take a better look and just take selfies in fancier angles and whatnot. Because, again, most of the problems with the selfies is trying to align your car so that the camera angle somewhat, it's alright. Like over here, what is this whole place? I don't know. If we had a proper camera mode, it would be so much cooler, much easier to take pictures, and we could do some fantastic group photos and whatnot. So over here, well, we got another little area for eating. This looks like it's a stand where they would sell food or whatever, the little tables and all of that. Kind of cool. We're gonna focus right now on the right side, because, okay, on the left side, what do we have? The sea. And, well, it looks cool, and it's the main vista of the map, because, oh, look at the sea and the boats and that airplane going over there. Really, it's on the right side where there's a lot to look at, but again, very, very underused or underappreciated, I would say. And keep in mind that this is a very, very old map. It's one of the original maps in the game. Oh, wow, we already... Okay, so hold on, let me restart this. It took us all of 5 minutes just to make progress like 10% into the track. Okay, maybe a little more, but you get my idea. What was I saying? That this is one of the original tracks in the game, which means that they were optimized for 2013 phones. And that means that they don't necessarily use a ton of polygons, which is what builds or composes the 3D elements in the game. It doesn't need to have a lot of polygons, and yet it looks fantastic because there's something to be said about minimalistic use of resources. Like, yeah, you could add a lot of textures to make this look prettier, but then that would be that many more textures that you need to load into the game. And honestly, it's simple but effective. Let me change the camera. Oh crap. The camera mode so we can look at it from this side. I wish the car was taller so that we could look at it at this place from a higher perspective, but still. So over here, apparently we have a what's it called? Where you store the cars? A parking lot. Jesus Christ, DBT. You and your gift of gab, I suppose. We got some stores over there with some mannequins. Again, all of those are pictures. It's obviously not, it doesn't have interiors, but you can see that it has a shader, reflective shader, so that it bounces supposedly a little bit of the light and whatnot. We got another parking spot, and then at this point we got another big park, some more vegetation. Again, another street that we could go into, except that it's very narrow. I'm gonna change the camera mode again, and yeah, look at all this place. It looks very... Oh, come on. There we go. A lot of eating spots. Again, problems with the order of the render in the sprites. But hey, let's not pay too much attention to it. To be fair, you don't really... you're not really going to notice all of this unless you're really looking for it when you're racing. Because things happen so quick anyway that it's not like you can see. And over here you can see that the bikes are not an actual 3D model. They're also just a texture. You can see how flat it looks from this angle. Obviously, when you look at it from the side, it looks a little better. But look at this. This is a bike, and you can barely see what's happening over there. But anyway, let's continue going. So yeah, a bunch of buildings, more spots for the selfies. Now, on the left side, again, we would go into the beach. I'm gonna stick right now to this side, just to have a look again at more park. Is this a parking lot? Or what is this? I don't know. Again, more fancy areas with a lot of tables and some vegetation. And look at, this is an interesting spot for selfies, I would say. Simply because it gives a different background to what you're used to seeing in the game. To me, this is very, very interesting to have a look at all those details. Over here, wouldn't it be cool if you could just drop down from here into that section? Not for the trees. Obviously, I don't want you to crash in the trees. That would be very annoying. But, you know, so that you pick the wrong route, well, you can still drop down over here in this section, this slope. I think that would be kind of interesting. Then we got more buildings, which all of this, I suppose it's going to be, or it's meant to be, on the lower side of stores, as you can see on the left side over here. But the higher levels is that hotels or something? I don't know. I think that's what it was meant to convey. Over here we got another street that goes down. Imagine going over there. Wouldn't that be cool? So yeah, there's a ton of little streets all around, dotted around. And obviously for these streets to be open, GameLoft would definitely need to rework the entire map. because I love this whole concept, and I talked about it in the previous videos, where there's so many places that you may think like, oh, wouldn't it be super cool to go? But honestly, if you were able to go as is right now, you would find a whole bunch of nothing, because it's all made in a way to give you the illusion that the streets continue and all of that, but the reality is that there's nothing behind it. So Gameloft would actually need to open the entire thing and rework the map and actually give you some streets to go into and all of that type of stuff. So over here on this side, again, a lot of trees, a lot of benches and all of that. Another cool spot for a selfie, and actually there's a street right over here that connects into the infinity where you cannot see what's happening. So, I don't know, that's kind of cool. On this side, we also have another street that sadly you cannot go into. Now, this should somehow connect to the other side of the track. Well, technically, since this is all a big circle, maybe this connects you somewhere else in the track? I'm not sure. I'm curious about that, but let's keep on going around. So yeah, this whole section, you're gonna see a lot of trees, a lot of benches, a lot of bikes, things like that. And before we go into the jumpy section over here, let's visit the other side of the track. The other route that normally nobody takes, because obviously it's the worst route in the map. And here again, we got a lot more of the same, with more streets that you cannot go into, hotels, benches, all of that good stuff. But other than that, I don't think there's a whole lot to see over here. And I lost. Oh no. Anyway, let me get back into that place so that we can resume our sightseeing. Because as I was saying, in this whole section, there's not a lot to see other than, like I said, all the boats and the beach and all of that. But I mean, I think that is the most obvious thing that everybody has seen, because how could you not see any of that? But yeah, so we were around here. So yeah, there's not a ton to look at over here, except that again, places like this are so underused, and they could be nice spots for selfies. Again, maybe they're not extremely flashy, but it's just fresh spots to go and be like, yep, I'm gonna take a picture somewhere over there. Wanna look at that street? Okay, it's fine. It's not really a street, but whatever. All right, so then we move into the section, the bay section, I suppose, or whatever you want to call this, where all of the boats are parked. That's not the word. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you park your boat, sure. So, all right, over here we got what seems to be a big. I don't know. For a moment I thought maybe this is like a big clock, maybe this is a lighthouse or anything. No, it just seems to be some sort of structure. Is that an actual structure in Barcelona? I have no idea, but anyway. Now, I did mention a little bit that this map holds a little bit of a special part. I'm gonna go back because I need to get some speed. But I did say that this map holds a slightly special place in my heart in terms of sightseeing, because this is actually the very first map that I did sightseeing on. And this was over a year ago when we had an issue, a big massive bug in the game, where a ton of cars, all of the cars got set back to stock. It was a big issue for Gameloft, a big bug. And I made a video as to, hey, what can you do if your cars are stuck and you're bored? And I said, why don't you go into a map and have a quick look at what's around? And thus the concept of sightseeing with DBT began, although that video wasn't called that just yet. So over here I'm just having a quick look at what's around, all of the boats, the water, the buildings. And I would say that this is an interesting, oh Jesus Christ, an interesting selfie spot, but it's difficult because when you're with a bunch of people, they tend to overshoot the jumps instantly, and that is that. Now, I do wonder what is this thing over here. Not in the mini-map, I mean in the actual world map. Don't knock me down, people. I want to look at what's... This thing over here, is that like a little castle on the top of a hill? I have no idea. Never noticed it until now, so... See, this is why I keep saying that I like doing this whole thing, because even I haven't noticed a bunch of things like this place called Grand Oceanics, it's called. And again, another club, or I have no idea. But alright, let's make this jump if I can do it. Yes, I can. Well, I mean, if super slow cars can do it, I guess I can do it. Now, we have over there a very interesting building. But had you ever paid attention to these strange circles over here? In fact, there's another little structures, not similar to that precisely, but peculiar indeed, that I want to show you. But it was actually at the start of the map, so we're going to have to loop around eventually to that place. So let's make this other jump. Big building, I don't know what that is. Then we have this one, which I do. Let me see if there we go. Over here on the left side, what is this structure? It's like some sort of, I think this is another roundabout, or is it not even a road? No, yeah, it is a road. It's a roundabout. So I wonder if that is some sort of statue important thing over there in Barcelona. But again, it's a roundabout, so you could definitely open, and when I say you, I mean GameLoft could open this and make it another section of the map that you can go into and all of that good stuff. Kind of cool, but not too much to see from here. Just some buildings in the distance, and I lost again. Oh no. Is the word that I was looking for anchor? Maybe that's what you do? You don't park your boat, you anchor your boat? Maybe, I'm not sure. But while we're here, this is the structure that I wanted to talk about that is right at the start of the map. You need to be in a particular angle to actually see it, to pay attention to it so that it's noticeable. And that is that structure of planks over there. What is this? What is the thing on the right side? I have no idea, but it's there. Anyway, let's go back to where we were. Oh, and actually I just realized that you can see that little structure that I was talking about from this side. I never quite noticed. See? That's what I'm saying. Oh, and there's that circle loopy thingies that we saw from the other angle too. But anyway, yeah, so we're back to this whole section of another roundabout. So again, more places that you could explore. Now over here, there's actually a bunch of routes that we could go into. I'm gonna go on the left side because again, that's a very unexplored route. I really like this route because it gives you a massive sense of speed. Here's another street, though you can see I think this is a texture missing. You see all this blueness? I think that's a texture that it's not there. But yeah, I like this whole section because when you're going here, because it's a much more narrow street, it gives you an even higher sense of speed for a game that is already going at ridiculous speeds. And I always wanted to go into that place. I always saw it and I'm like, oh, that looks like it would be a nice place to go. But let's see, can we look at this area? Yeah, there we go. More streets, more stores. And yeah, I don't know. I really like looking at all of this stuff because again, oh, this little park on the right side, have you ever paid attention to it? It's tiny, but it's there and it's kind of cute. It's nice. I like it. Another interesting selfie spot or rather, I should say, rather than nice, I should say another uncommon selfie spot. And to be fair, places like this that are so tiny, so closed off, it's difficult to get people to take a selfie if you're planning to do a group selfie. If you're just doing it by yourself, well, then you're fine. Same thing over here, I always wanted to go in there. In fact, when I was learning to play this game, I always got confused and think that that's the where I had to go because you're going at such a speed that I didn't quite notice that you were supposed to go on the right side, going into this whole section. But anyway. So yeah, we got a little bit more of the same thing, mini routes within this other route where you can just have a look around at what's going on. Again, not a ton happening here, just a bunch of buildings, but if you really want to, you can always stop and have a look to make sense of if this says anything. For example, parking and what it say? Barn? Whatever. Oh, for example, I never noticed this. It says, I don't know what it says, but it says 100. And it's some sort of store, but I don't know that oh, you know what? There's a car over there in that. So is this a car-related store? Oh, hold up. This reminded me of the Tokyo mall thingy. And there's a bunch of pictures of really pixelated people. Nice. Or rather, really blurry people. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, that it's kind of interesting to have a look at this type of things that normally you would never pay attention to. Wow! Oh my god! I never knew that this... Had you ever noticed that there's an advertisement for Nova 3? Alright, this is 100% new to me. I never noticed this and there's a person there. Actually, there's another person. And another person! Oh my god, there's people! Yeah, Nova 3, it's a FPS game by GameLoft of the old days back in the day. For mobile. It was a really fun one, but my phone could never run it, so could never really play it properly. But it was very well done. It was a very interesting looking game. And it's interesting, I never noticed that there was an advertising for that game within this game, that it's going a little meta GameLoft, but I appreciate you for it. And the fact that it's just right there, hidden, you know? Because honestly, I wonder if there's more of those in this map. Alright, there we go. I made it back into this whole section. So I'm gonna go a little bit faster over here, because again, we can really stop and have a look at every single little thing, but this would literally take us hours and hours and hours to try to dissect one single map. And some people in the previous Sightseeing with DBT episode told me like, DBT, how did you miss this? And how did you not see this? I mean, they weren't saying it in an obnoxious way. They weren't be like, oh, but you didn't notice this. And yeah, it's true. There's definitely things that are gonna escape me because, well, I'm focusing in what I'm focusing and there's so much stuff to see. Oh, look at this whole section. Never pay attention of how cool it looks from this angle. Nice. And it's curious because it's a place that you have seen a bunch of times, but still. So yeah, I'm gonna miss stuff obviously, but that probably you should take that as an opportunity for you to actually jump into the game and have a quick look at all of this stuff and see what you can find yourself. Because I think it's really interesting to see all the little details that get put in. Again, as a firework, okay, cool. As a person who has made maps or levels for a different game, I know how much effort you can put into things that are gonna go unnoticed by 98% of people. And especially in a race. Oh, look at that. There's another advertisement for Nova 3. Wow. In a bus stop. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I know how much effort you can put into this thing, and people are still not gonna notice it. So I think it's cool to recognize all of the effort that has been put, even in maps this old. And by the way, this is a structure I never really paid attention to until I was recording this video, and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of interesting. So all right, let's explore another route. Oh yeah, and this big building, by the way, the one that we saw from the other angle, it also looks very cool from here. But I think that's something that you notice very easily, because that's something that they designed in a way where it's not super noticeable when you're going in this version of the track, obviously, but when you're going in reverse, there's actually, let me see, right over here there is a ramp so that you don't collide with this whole thing. And this ramp, it's nowadays don't hit me. Oh dude, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you? It's completely unused because the cars are so fast nowadays that if you take that ramp, you're actually just gonna crash. No matter what you do, you're gonna crash. So that's why that ramp is no longer used. But it was designed in a way where with a regular car back in the day, you would take this ramp and you would see this big building you know, in the forefront, or you would really see it. Have you ever stopped to see what's in here? Well, there's nothing. Some walls like this and some other tracks actually teleport you right back into another section of the map. I mean, like, it respawns you. So that's kind of cool. Now, same situation over here. Here's the tunnel. And the tunnel continues that side, obviously towards nowhere. But yes, this whole section, again, it's another one that it's underused. And that is a bit of a problem. As much as I'm praising the old maps of Game Love because of how much detail was put into them, how cool they look and all of that, there's a lot of routes that simply are just bad. And there's absolutely no reason why anybody should go into those routes other than what I'm doing, exploring, or when you're learning the map. But other than that, well, right now, obviously, we're into the main part of the track. But yeah, there's a lot of this that it's completely useless. It serves absolutely no purpose because you never would be interested in going there again other than when you were just trying to figure out the map. And once you did, it's like, yep, that's a bad route. Why would I go over there? So then we're in this whole section, which you have seen a million times. Again, part of the main course. So nothing much to see over here. So instead, let's take a look at the other side of this same route. Instead of going down into the little tunnel, we're gonna go over here. Now, normally you would never pay an... Actually, I wonder why this nitro bottle is here. Is it possible to pick it up under normal circumstances? I don't know. But let's park right next to a big truck. And there you go. Now you... Can I fit in there? Ah, crap. Oh, is it blocked? Yeah, it's blocked. I cannot go in there. But there you go. You can park. And if you wanted a selfie with a big... what is this? Is it a truck? I don't know what it's called in English specifically. But yeah, if you want a selfie like that, there you go. So yeah, then we can go on this side. And again, we can see a bunch of structures on the right side, which again, normally you're not going to be paying a whole lot of attention to. In fact, I think that some of this stuff... Let me change the camera mode again. There we go. I bet some of these structures are the ones that you can see from the other side of the track when you're going around the whole thing. But because yeah, that section, all of this, yeah, those are the boats, right? Those are gonna be about the boat stuff, probably. Yeah, I think that's what it is. All right, cool enough. Cool. Again, it's not something that you're gonna be paying a whole lot of attention, but it's there. Like all these structures right there, kind of cool looking. But honestly, it's not like you're gonna get a massively interesting selfie in this spot, because there's not a ton to see over there. So I don't think that's necessarily super interesting to be looking at. We got that little structure over here, and maybe... Oh no! Ah, Jesus! Well done, DBT. Well done. Fortunately for me, there's a ramp right here. So let me get back up there. I couldn't because I don't have the speed. Great. Take two for the ramp. Let's go, baby. There we go. Now I have the speed. Oh, what? Is that a crab? I think that's a crab, isn't it? This is a crab. A very low poly crab. Anyway, let's keep going. Maybe if you want to take a selfie, again, you need to have manual acceleration so that you can stop yourself. You can take a selfie from this type of angle so that you have a slightly better view at the background. But a lot of people play with auto acceleration so they cannot just stop like I am stopping right there. But yeah, you could definitely get some interesting selfies like that. Again, focusing on the right side, you can see still a lot more boats, the water, some road that goes over here on the right side. Kind of cool stuff. And then we get back into this section. Oh yeah, look at that. Another... Oh, I wonder if... Hold on, is there some sort of landmark around here? No, but I'm curious if we can see this from the other side. Hold on. Well, I guess I'm gonna look at it at some of the points. Because right now I want to continue looking at this whole section again. More roads going on that side. Right here. And actually the angle of the road... Hold on. Oh, what happened there? Went double vision for a second. This road and the angle actually looks inviting for you to go in there, doesn't it? Like going right here. Oh man, so many places that maybe could still be used for another version of the track. I think that is absolutely, that would be very interesting. And well, the same thing from here onwards, you know? Did my sound bug out? Yeah, it did. Hold on. Is the game trying to tell me like, DBT, you're not supposed to be doing any of this? Oh, you know what? Did you notice that there was no AI right next to me as this race started? That's weird. There's always supposed to be a... Oh, and the sound's still bugged. Check this out. I think I broke the game, guys. It happened again. But yeah, so this whole section, well, it's gonna be a little bit of the same thing. There, oh yeah, look at, there's the Ep.3 advertisement. Yeah, maybe you guys have seen it from there, but I bet you had never seen the Nova advertisement where I saw it, where I discovered it in this video. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, that is basically the rundown on this map. Again, there's probably still a bunch of things that I missed, things that I didn't notice, and that is perfectly fine. Like I said, it's in a way an invitation for you to open the game, have a look. Hey, what is? I just realized. Did you see this AI? I think it's completely stuck. I broke it. It's not in the track. Yeah. I think the game is like, DBT, you're not supposed to be doing any of this. What's wrong with you? Look at it. It's not in the track. All right, you know what? Let's go around and see if it's still gonna be there, if it's gonna respond, or what is it gonna do? But yeah, I think the game is not happy with me. It's like, DBT, could you please stop all of this nonsense? You're doing nothing good. But yeah, if you're enjoying this type of videos, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know which other map would you like to see. Again, remember that I'm trying to do this, maybe not in the straight up chronological order, but I definitely wanted to have a look at the older maps first. Oh, actually, you know what? I just realized you can see the structure that I said that you cannot see, that I never paid attention to from the other side of the track. Right there, it's this structure right here. That's kind of cool, that's interesting. But yeah, let me know what other map would you like me to check out, preferably of the old maps first, so that we go, again, not in perfect chronological order, but just enough so that we don't jump from Barcelona to Terra 9, where the level of detail is going to be much higher. But yeah, I just wanted to have a quick look at all of this, and that's going to do it for this video. You know what to do, hit the like button and all of that good stuff. And the key phrase for today is going to be, Barcelona needs to have some new routes using some of these streets. First person to post are going to get a heart, a pin, and all of that good stuff. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.